This story begins. And we see a beautiful place, and the name of this place is Tianmen. Also we see a man at this place, who is standing on the top of this mountain, looking at the beauty of this place. His name is Lin Fan. And some girls are secretly watching him, and Lin Fan is saying, I raise my head and gaze at the bright moon, lowering my head, I think of my hometown. And seeing him, all the girls are getting very attracted, and one of them says, it's here, the prince has started reciting poetry again. Then the other girl says, the prince not only excels in cultivation but also demonstrates remarkable proficiency in poetry and literature. Such exquisite poetry, it truly touches one's heart. And there is another girl with them, who is saying, but it's clearly daytime now, where does the bright moon come from? Why does it sound a bit pretentious? But after listening to him, those three girls start getting angry at him and saying, you newcomer know nothing. And the other girl says, exactly, the prince's literary talent is not something you can do. Comment on. Little Heisey, right? And after listening to his words, the girl is very shocked and is unable to say anything. Then suddenly Lin Fan comes to that place and stops all those girls. Then he tells them, we are all fellow disciples of the same sect, why let a tiny matter disrupt our harmony? Are you all right, junior sister? And after listening to Lin Fan's words, the girl becomes very surprised and she says to Lin Fan, I am fine, thank you for your concern, your highness. At the same time the girl is thinking, he's so gentle. The prince's hand. It's so warm. This feeling is like holding my father's hand when I was a child. And Lin Fan is saying to the girl, this junior sister seems a bit unfamiliar. Are you a new disciple? And the girl is thinking, he's so close, his breath so warm. What should I do? I can't even look at him directly, my mind is completely scrambled, I can't think at all. And the girl says to Lin Fan, yes. That's right. Then Lin Fan says, I see. If you encounter any difficulties, feel free to come to me. My residence is on Cloud Conceal Peak. By the way, what's your name? So the girl says, Li Rollin, if your highness doesn't mind, you can call me Rollin. And Lin Fan says, Rollin. That's a beautiful name. I'll remember you. Then Lin Fan starts leaving this place and while leaving says to the girl, I'll remember you. If you encounter any difficulties, come find me at Cloud Conceal Peak. And when Lin Fan leaves, we see two girls, who are jealous over that girl, and they are saying, the prince actually called her by her name. Damn it, jealousy can make people lose their composure. And that girl is imaging about Lin Fan and thinking, it is said that the prince began cultivating qi at the age of 3, formed his dan at 6, and was taken as a disciple by the ancestor of Tianmen at 12. I always thought he was a cold and aloof man. Prince, are you really this gentle? Father, it seems that joining the Tianmen is the greatest blessing for your daughter. She has found. After some time, Lin Fan comes near his house. Then he closes the door, and starts looking around. And when he is confirmed that there is no one around, he heaves a sigh of relief. Then he laughs a wicked laugh and says, with just a few tricks, I can charm thousands of girls. It seems the strategies from those satisfying novels I read on Earth in my previous life work just as well in this world. If things continue like this, I will conquer the entire Tianmen. No! Even there won't be no problem in conquering the whole world. Oh! My spirit of adolescent self-consciousness is burning fiercely. But then someone hits him on the head with a hammer. And the system comes to that place, which is the system of this Lin Fan. And the system is speaking to Lin Fan, the system has detected improper conduct of the host. So the system issues a warning regarding the host's improper behavior. Host, please be mindful of your reputation and refrain from actions that may damage yours favorability points. And Lin Fan says to the system, you're being too harsh. But it doesn't make any difference to the system. And Lin Fan is thinking, you guessed it right. This seemingly harmless little thing isn't the Lord of the Ring, but my system. I, Lin Fan, am a traveler who called a strange phenomena and stirred up the world upon my birth. A holy child descends from the heavens. Truly, God's blessing to our Tianmen. Legend has it that the ancient stars are reincarnated, nurtured by heaven and earth. I have only read about it in ancient texts. Never did I imagine such a thing could be true. The future of this child is boundless, he may even ascend to the throne as an emperor. I have decided to take him as my disciple and appoint him as the prince of the Tianmen from this day forth. Unlike other time travelers, when I first time traveled, I had no memories of my previous life. It wasn't until recently that I recovered memories from my past life, and realized my identity as a time traveler. Before that, I was simply a young cultivator in the cultivation world, devoted solely to cultivation. I'd broken through, and at the age of 12, I was personally accepted as a disciple by Tianmen's ancestors, and I was chosen by a master. From now on, you are my disciple. Is that the ancestors? It should be. I saw the esteemed ancestors once when I was 8 years old. While practicing a hand, I accidentally blew up the furnace. In my misfortune, I regained memories of my past life. That's when I realized that little figure who had been guiding my cultivation all along was actually the essence of the system itself. Congratulations to the host for successfully activating the system. When the host increases others' favorability towards you, can exchange for massive system rewards. Increasing favorability of others towards me? So easy. Then Lin Fan says to the system, "Alright, system, enough fooling around. Quickly check how much favorable I gained just now, and don't even think about withholding my reva right away." But the system tells Lin Fan, "When you were younger, you were quite adorable. How did you become like this after regaining your memories?" And hearing this, Lin Fan gets angry and says to the system, "You've got a lot of nerve to say that. When I was younger, I always thought you were the old man inside the ring. You didn't even bother to remind me to help regain my memory. Do you find it amusing to treat the host like a monkey, huh?" Then the system innocently tells Lin Fan, I did this for the sake of the host's growth and experience. Relying too much on the system isn't a good thing either. Okay, the total favorability gained just now. Heartfelt admiration. And seeing this, the system is thinking, this Li Rulin, her favorables suddenly reach 100. She's the first character to reach a favorability of 100 towards the host. I've just had a brilliant idea. After this, Lin Fan is thinking, I always feel like I've been fooled. Fortunately, she didn't mention senior brother. See the content on this paper. They might think have a penchant for same-sex relationships. And Lin Fan throws away the thing in his hand and he says, forget it, and the system tells Lin Fan, what are you doing? I clearly wrote it so well. But Lin Fan goes straight to sleep without paying much attention to the system, and he says, well, let's sleep now, and think about it tomorrow when I wake up. Next day we see a man standing outside Lin Fan's house. And he hears a voice from outside and he is saying, Xiao Fan still hasn't woken up. Today is the 7th day, and on this day every month, I must present his cultivation report to the Ancestor. The Ancestor is in seclusion for cultivation and has limited time for meetings, so I cannot afford any delays. Never mind, Xiao Fan must have been too diligent in his practice and overslept. I'll go get it myself. Then he goes inside to see Lin Fan. Then he sees that Lin Fan is still sleeping. And seeing this he starts laughing. Then he goes ahead and starts checking something and he is saying, looks like Xiao Fan had it prepared already. He just hadn't managed to seal it in the envelope yet. Oh well, I'll present it to them ancestors as is. And then he finds something, seeing which he is thinking, underneath the cultivation report, this should be presented to the Ancestor. Wait a moment, the content here, Xiao Fan actually harbors such thoughts towards the Ancestor. Vigor, it's not surprising for him to have such thoughts. This matter is of utmost importance. I must promptly inform the Ancestors and await their decision. Then the man leaves this place very fast. And we see the system, which is getting very happy and it is thinking, the plan is set. After this the scene shifts, Tianmen Forbidden Land, Tianzhu Peak. Then we see the sect master and a letter comes to her. Looking at it she is saying, considering I've been in seclusion for over 3,000 years, I only have time to review sect affairs and external intelligence on the 7th day of each month. It's just that recent intelligence has become increasingly boring. It's all mundane matters. It's simply a waste of precious youth. Earth-shattering gossip. Zhuge Ling, a third-generation disciple of Qingyan sect, formed a Taoist couple with the junior disciple of Manhwa sect during their adventures outside, and betrayed their sect. The Qingyan sect is one of the 8 major orthodox disciples of Qingyan sect in this generation. Having committed such a disgraceful act, I can imagine the elders of the Qingyan sect fuming with rage. It's truly amusing. Thankfully, the Tianmen sect has long established a decree against engaging in romantic relationships, to avoid such disgraceful incidents that would truly embarrass us in front of the world. Shocking. The Grand Master of the Sword sect is suspected to have a penchant for same-sex relationships. He was often seen exchanging secret letters with the leader of the Hundred Flowers Valley, the sworn enemy of the Sword sect. Eventually, he was ambushed and killed by experts from both sects in the depths of the Broken-Back Mountain, leaving behind the eternal masterpiece laughing proudly across the 3 realms. Shocking! Terrifying! The Supreme Elder of the Bagua sect in his tribulation crossing and, on the brink of death, revealed a shocking secret. The esteemed senior elder was secretly in love with a newly recruited female disciple of the Bagua sect. Shangguan Qing, the head of the Shangguan family, had a clandestine affair with his first love, the sect leader of the Yenye sect, resulting in his murder by his legitimate wife. In a quest for revenge for her lover, the sect leader of the Yenye sect slew Shangguan's wife. However, her whereabouts are unknown after taking Shangguan Cheng's corpse away. Alas, the cultivators of today are indulging more and more in frivolous pursuits. These mundane gossips truly disrupt my tranquility. What's the point of the sect's intelligence department if they can't gather some useful intelligence? Consider our 3 founders of the Tianmen sect. The second brother, with the most outstanding talent, was ensnared by a woman. When he reached the pinnacle of cultivation, his inner demons emerged, leading to his demise. And the eldest brother once said, with no woman in them heart, the sword naturally attained divinity. In the end, he attained enlightenment with his sword and ascended to become an immortal. After the passing of the second brother, I established a decree: no disciple of Tianmen shall be ensnared by love or emotion. Though this decision was met with misunderstanding and garnered much criticism, I bore the weight of those accusations unwaveringly. But how could they possibly understand? I only did it for their benefit, to ensure they wouldn't waste their precious youth. Alright, let's take a look at the intelligence within the sect. Reporting to the Ancestor, Disciple has recently made some progress in cultivation and has successfully broken through to the realm of great power, and reached the 3rd realm of Tianyuan. Li Kursin, it seems that choosing Xiner as the sect leader back then was not wrong. In just 100 years she has broken through from the nascent soul realm to the realm of great power, and now she has even reached the 3rd realm of Tianyuan. The future is limitless. With Xiner leading the Tianmen sect and the emergence of Fanner as a rising star, even if I ascend to immortality in the future, Tianmen will thrive under their protection without me. Right, it's also time to review the report submitted by Fanner. Reporting to the Venerable Ancestor, a disciple recently encountered a stroke of luck and made rapid progress in cultivation. I have achieved a breakthrough and reached the middle stage of the nascent soul realm. As expected of a holy child descended from heavens, his talent is even more outstanding than that of Xiner, and they far exceed mine from years past. Fanner is the most outstanding junior disciple of our Tianmen sect. In the future, he will surely ascend to immortality and protect our Tianmen for 1,000 years. I must pay more attention to him in the future. Wait, did Fanner submit 2 reports? What's in this one? It seems a bit crumpled. Oh, it turns out to be a thank you letter. I didn't expect Fanner to be quite good at praising others. Hold on, this line. Since childhood I have admired you from the bottom up. My heart. Seems a bit off, doesn't it? This line, willing to share the same bed and pillow with you, enjoying each other's company through the long night, is so audacious. It's literally disrespectful. And this, bathing together in the same pool, meeting each other with sincerity, is completely outrageous. Oh, right, my second brother once left a similar letter in my room, and the content bears striking similarities. It was a love letter he wrote to a girl he admired secretly. After I found it, I returned it to my second brother. Hold on. Could this be a love letter? I never expected that Fan would harbor such inappropriate feelings towards me. Fan is the most outstanding disciple of our Tianmen sect. How could he fall into such temptation? No, I must put an end to this immediately, and sever this bad relationship. I hope Fanner can find his way back from this misguided path. Someone come here. After this we see Lin Fan's room, and now Lin Fan is awake. And when he looks ahead, the door is open and he's saying, The door is open, could someone have with me? My cultivation report. Could Senior Chen have already been here? And then the system tells Lin Fan, while you were sound asleep, that Senior Chen of yours had already paid a visit. Oh, and to assist the host, I also had your Senior Chen take away that letter you tossed aside yesterday. And Lin Fan gets very shocked after hearing this. Then he grabs hold of the system and angrily tells it, What? System, are you trying to mess with me? Didn't I throw that things away? You, be honest, did you do this intentionally, or was it an accident? And the system says to Lin Fan smilingly, It was intentional. I left a bit of suspense to better showcase the difficulty of the task. And Lin Fan says to the system, You really got me there. But thankfully, since the letter wasn't signed, Senior Chen shouldn't jump to any conclusions about me. But the system is thinking, should I tell the host that I might have actually? Let's just forget it. Give the host personality. If he find out the truth, he might just pack up and leave. And then a man comes to that place and tells Lin Fan, the Emperor's son Lin Fan's, to obey the order. Summon yourself before the venerable ancestors. And Lin Fan gets surprised after hearing this, and he is thinking, the best way to deal with difficulties is to face them head on. Keep going, host! After this the scene shifts, Tianzhu Peak Mountain Trail. And Lin Fan is being taken away by 2 guards, and Lin Fan is thinking, Venerable Ancestor, just summon me directly, a simple notification would be enough. But why? Am I being escorted by the shadow guards? I am the Emperor's son of Tianmen. I am not a prisoner. Then Lin Fan asks a guard, Senior brother, I wonder what the reason for their summons from the venerable ancestors. Could you please give me some insight? So he says to guard Lin Fan, we, the shadow guards, only follow orders and never inquire about the reasons. Your Highness, please proceed quickly. And hearing this, Lin Fan starts getting a little worried, and he is thinking, Wah, it is indeed the most mysterious department of Tianmen, and there is a chill in every word. Then he comes near a big door with guard Lin Fan. Then both of them make loud noises, reporting to the venerable ancestors, Emperor's son Lin Fan has been brought here. Then the door opens and a voice comes from inside, allowing the Lin Fan to enter. You may withdraw now. Then Lin Fan starts going inside, and while leaving he is saying, My venerable ancestor, the master has always been reclusive. Although we have the master-disciple relationship, most of my cultivation has been guided by the sect leader instead of my master. Come to think of it, the last time I saw her was 2 years ago. And as Lin Fan goes ahead, he knows his master sitting above. Then Lin Fan says to the master, Disciple Lin Fan pays respects to the master. And she says to Master Lin Fan, No need to be polite, come up, Fanner. Then Master Lin Fan starts flying in the air. And she brings him to herself. Then she asks Lin Fan, I have some questions to ask you in person. And the master is thinking, having not met for 2 years, Lin Fan appears to have matured somewhat, and his appearance has become even more handsome. Hold on, what am I thinking? Then Lin Fan is asking the master, Master, are you feeling unwell? If you're feeling unwell, master, we can postpone our meeting to another day, please take care of yourself. And she says to Master Lin Fan, Ahem. I've already reached a state where no illness can affect me. There's no such thing as feeling unwell for me. And Lin Fan says laughingly, You're right, but the master is thinking, it's all because of the strange things you wrote, kid. Then Lin Fan says to the master, But master, what are the questions you want to ask me in person? Is it really necessary to make such a big deal out of it between Lisa's master and disciple? And after hearing this, the master starts getting more angry and she is thinking, You're still trying to act with me. Hup, how come I didn't notice this kid had such talent in acting before? And she says to Lin Fan, Lin Fan. You know. But then she stops herself and she's thinking, hold on, if my tone is too harsh, it might backfire and affect Lin Fan's state of mind. Besides, Lin Fan is young and inexperienced, at an age where mistakes are common in matters like these. As a master, it's important to understand Lin Fan's true feelings. Perhaps he was just acting on impulse, and Lin Fan is saying to the master, I know. Know what? Master, why didn't you continue speaking? So she says to Master Lin Fan, as your master, I wanted to say, do you know that today is my 3000th birthday? But Master is getting a little nervous and she is thinking, what the fuck am I even saying? And when Lin Fan hears this, he gets shocked, then he says, is this true? At the same time he is watching the master carefully and he is thinking, but I never imagined that the master is already 3000 years old. My goodness, you look completely like a girl in her 20s. This leg. Such a sexy figure. This face, is she really 3000 years old? And the master is saying, so now that you know the master's age, what are your thoughts? But she is thinking, well, I'll have to reason with him first and slowly get Lin Fan to give up his thoughts about me. That's the only way to put an end to this once and for all. Opinion or the master changed? And Lin Fan is surprised and says, how come? The master's youthful appearance is quite impressive. After learning the master's age, my admiration for the master has only increased. And after hearing this, the master becomes even more shocked. And she is thinking, admiration increased even more? And Lin Fan is thinking, so that's it. It seems that the master called me here this time to teach me the art of preserving youth. No wonder it's so mysterious. Then she says to Master Lin Fan, do you really not mind the age of your master? And she is thinking about Master Lin Fan. Could it be that he always likes older people? What kind of strange preference is this? Then she says to Master Lin Fan, although my appearance is already 3000 years old. And Lin Fan says to the master, how could I dislike master? My admiration for master will not waver in the slightest because of this. Rather, if master can be open with his disciple, the disciple would be overjoyed. At the same time Lin Fan is thinking, is the master afraid that I'll say she's acting young despite her age? If I show any aversion, master might not teach me the art of preserving youth. Humph, I'm not that foolish. I must flatter master and get hold of this art of preserving youth. But now the master starts getting angry and says to Lin Fan, right, I understand your intentions. And Lin Fan is saying, the disciple's determination will never change. And he is thinking, hurry and teach me the art of preserving youth. With this technique, won't it be a breeze to charm the ladies in the future? But then the master places his sword on Lin Fan's neck. And seeing this Lin Fan gets very shocked, and he is thinking what plot direction is this? But then Lin Fan's attention falls on the letter written by him, seeing which he becomes very shocked, and he is thinking, that is. Damn. I'm fucked. And she says angrily to Master Lin Fan, as a disciple of the Tianmen sect, are you aware of the consequences of breaking the prohibition? And Lin Fan is very scared, and he is thinking, could it be that the master thinks I wrote her a love letter? No wonder the conversation just now. Dead. I'm dead for sure. System, what have you done? Thousands of years ago. The mountain behind Tianzhu Peak. Master is saying, Big Brother has ascended, leaving Tianmen sect to me alone to manage. Though I am only half a step away from becoming an immortal, this half step might be a chasm I cannot cross in my lifetime. Alas, becoming an immortal. What exactly? Am I still lacking? Tianmen's Rule 36. Those who violate Tianmen's prohibition shall have all their cultivation abolished and be expelled from Tianmen sect. Lin Fan, as a disciple of mine and also the Emperor's son, I can give you another chance. If you can repent in time, I, as your master, may let you off the hook and exempt you from the punishment for violating the prohibition. Just after that, I will erase a portion of your memories to prevent you from straying again. And Lin Fan is thinking, erasing memories? Wouldn't that require probing my memories first? With master's cultivation, indeed, it's possibility. But if that happens, won't my secrets be exposed? No. I can't let it come to that. I must take a risk. Then Lin Fan says to the master, let me off the hook? Master, am I, Lin Fan, the kind of man who easily backs down? My feelings and admiration for you won't end so easily. If denying my feelings is the only option, then it would be better for you to kill me now. And the master says, what? What nonsense are you spouting? And Lin Fan is saying, I'm not spouting nonsense, master. Every word I say comes from the heart. Master, have you ever considered that you've been in seclusion for thousands of years, yet your cultivation hasn't progressed at all? The reason behind this, do you really not understand at all? And after listening to Lin Fan's words, the master is a little surprised and she is saying, reason? What reason? You, a nascent soul cultivator, what do you know? Stop spouting nonsense. So Lin Fan tells, because you lack love. You don't understand what love truly is. Love can bring boundless strength to people, because love knows no bounds. And even the master gets surprised after hearing this and she says, love, no bound? However, even if you love me, I don't love you. Moreover, there's a vast difference in our status. How could we possibly love each other? You're simply indulging in fantasy. It's absurd. But Lin Fan says, I understand it all. I'm not worthy. But I must speak my heart. Since ancient times, love has surpassed hatred, and this longing knows no end. If I don't speak my heart today, 10,000 years from now, I will deeply regret not saying these words. And after listening to Lin Fan's words, something starts happening to the master, and she says, what? What words? Then Lin Fan says, there was once a sincere feeling in front of me, but I didn't cherish it. I only regretted it when I lost it. If God gave me another chance, I would tell that girl I love you. If there has to be a time limit on this love, I hope it'll be underscore 1,000 years. And tears start falling from Lin Fan's eyes, but Lin Fan is pretending to cry. He is emotionally blackmailing the master. But we see that tears start falling from the master's eyes too. And because of this, a lot of spiritual energy starts accumulating at that place. And it is because of this reason that the master has made his breakthrough. Then we look outside, where many disciples are watching all this happen. And one of the elders says, that's it. Immortal chi fills the body. And the second elder says, the immortal chi gathers at the peak of Tianzhu Peak. Finally broken through to that realm? And we see the master, who has made a breakthrough. Also her appearance also changes and she is thinking, it turns out that what I lack, it's love. It turns out that all the paths I took before we all wrong, if it weren't for Fanna's sincere feelings, I'm afraid wouldn't have broken through the great emperor realm. And Lin Fan is very shocked and he is thinking, what's happening? Where am I? Who am I? What's going on? Is the master enraged? What's with all this commotion? It's terrifying. Hey! Big sis, could you speak first? I'm done for. Is this really happening? The flirting tricks that I learned back then from TV dramas are really garbage. It's over. My journey through time and space has come to an end. Damn it. But then the master kisses Lin Fan, and seeing this Lin Fan is also very surprised. Then the master shyly says to Lin Fan, you fool, you're still calling me master. And after hearing this, Lin Fan is very shocked and he is thinking, it's happening. Could it be? Is it a success? Then she says to Master Lin Fan, however, I merely agreed to give you a chance. Your current level of cultivation is still far from enough to marry me. Although I don't care about worldly opinions, my cultivation has already broken through. In less than 10 years, this realm will forcibly ascend me. If you cannot become immortal, how can you marry me? If you truly love me like you say, then I'll trust you for now, because I don't want to leave myself with regrets for thousands of years to come. And Lin Fan goes closer to the master and holds him, then says, of course, master, no Yanran. I will definitely work hard to catch up with you and become a man worthy of you. Also Lin Fan is thinking, phew, I didn't expect my ancestor, who's lived for 3,000 years, could be so easily deceived. I thought my life was about to end right there. But, it feels like I'm actually starting to like her a bit. Is it just my imagination? After this, the scene shifts to Tianmen Square. We see that a lot of people gather at this place. And we see a girl who is saying, "The sect leader suddenly summoned all of us, the disciples of the 3 generations. What major event has occurred in the sect?" And the other man says, "No idea. But when I received the summon message, I was in the middle of a battle with the Ilioning realm demonic beast, nearly even matched. I was close to defeating it. If it weren't for the sect leader's summoning message, I might have already tamed a Yuaning realm demonic beast." But then a girl silences him and tells him, "Stop bluffing. You're evenly matched with everyone. Just 2 days ago, I saw you stealing the opportunity of the Sword Sect's junior sister and getting caught by the Sword Sect people and beat up. If it weren't for me saving your ass, you would have been done for." And the man says to the girl, "Sister Zhao, how can you tarnish someone's innocence like that? If it weren't for your interference, I still had a chance to retaliate against them." Then we see an elder. It seems like these 3rd-generation disciples have been through quite a lot. Then the elder tells all the disciples, "Dear disciples of Tianmen, you've all been working hard, with most of you still out gaining experience. The sudden summons to return is because our sect has some great news to share with everyone." And hearing this, the red-haired girl becomes very happy. And we see this guy, who's thinking, "Great news? It's not. Junior brother Lin and our ancestor, is it? Oh my goodness. Awesome, Junior brother Lin." Then the elder further states, "Alright, I won't keep you in suspense any longer. Our sect's ancestors has been in seclusion for many years, and at last, she has broken through to the realm of the great emperor, on the verge of ascending to immortality. Our ancestor has already sent word to me. They will emerge from seclusion today, and from now on, all 3rd-generation disciples' training will halt. Our ancestors will conduct teachings personally to enhance everyone's cultivation. Today, I've gathered you all to welcome our ancestors' emergency. I hope all 3rd-generation disciples will perform well and leave a good impression on our ancestors." And the girl with red hair says, "What? That rumored ancestor is really emerging from seclusion? And going to teach us? They're considered the pinnacle powerhouse of the entire continent." And the little girl says, "The ancestor? Apart from the sect leader and brother Fan, no one has ever seen them. Are they male or female?" Then the second elder says, "Okay, you little kids, hold your excitement, the ancestor is coming." And we see that bright lights start shining in the sky, and the master comes to that place, and Lin Fan is also with him. And seeing that the master has come, the elder says, "The ability to turn spiritual energy into a rainbow, something only said to be achievable by immortals. What a terrifying cultivation level. Is that true? Our Tianmen's ancestors?" And the little girl says happily, "Wow! The ancestors look so stunning. And my brother Lin Fan is quite handsome too." Then the elder greets the master and says, "Disciple Li Kursin respectfully welcomes the ancestors' emergency from seclusion." And all the disciples greet the master and say, "Respectfully welcome the ancestors' emergence from seclusion." And the other elder is saying to Lin Fan, "You. How can you be so disrespectful? We're all here to respectfully welcome the ancestor, and yet you're still standing there?" But Lin Fan doesn't know how to say anything. Then the master says, "Well, I only asked you to gather the 3rd-generation disciples. I didn't say you needed to welcome me with such grandeur. We, Tianmen, have never been bound by formalities. Everyone, please stand up." And the elder says, "Yes. Ancestors, forgive me. Did you hear that? Stand up quickly." Then the master says to the elder, "You've done an excellent job. In my absence, Jiaovi managed Tianmen exceptionally well and haven't neglected your cultivation either. The reason for my emergence from seclusion this time is to lay a solid foundation for Tianmen before my ascension. I don't want Tianmen to decline in my absence after I ascend. Xiner, besides conducting my teachings, you should cooperate with the elders to promptly devise methods to elevate the disciples' cultivation. Also, even though training has been suspended for now, I don't want the disciples to neglect practical combat. Having been in seclusion for many years, I'm not adept at managing sect affairs. I'll still rely on you and the elders to take care of these matters diligently." And the elder says, "However, if we don't engage in practical experience, improving combat skills requires interaction and sparring with other sections. Tianmen have always been assertive, and we've offended many sects. I'm afraid they might not be willing to cooperate. And the master says, what are you afraid of? The energy of my breakthrough can be sensed by any powerful cultivator. Once those sects learn of my emergency from SECU's Oho challenge us, you can rest assured. Proceed boldly. Anyone who dares to provoke Tianmen or refuses to cooperate, I will personally deal with them. And the elder says, yes, bastard. And the elder is thinking, Master, you truly exude dominance. Then she says to Master Lin Fan, by the way, there's Lin Fan, he's not exempt from this. If any third-generation disciple surpasses Lin Fan in cultivation, he'll lose his status as the crown prince. Any third-generation disciple who outperforms Lin Fan will be instantly appointed as the crown prince, and become my direct disciple. And the girl with red hair is feeling very happy. And this man is thinking, what does the ancestor mean by this? Is he planning to put junior brother Lin on the spot? It's hard to. And the little girl is thinking, don't worry, brother Lin only one crown prince, Ano that's you. I won't let anyone jeopardize your position. Linger will be your strongest supporter. After this the scene shifts, inside the Tianmen's Lingxiao pavilion, and we see Lin Fan, who is banging his head on the table, and he is saying to the master, Yanran, are you trying to make me a target of everyone? And those glances from the third-generation disciples? They look at me like I'm their prey. So master says to Lin Fan while drinking tea, stay composed. Fanner, I'm just giving you a chance. If you want to match up to me, it's impossible without improving yours cultivation. You've seen the elders' attitudes toward you, haven't you? And Lin Fan is thinking, my current cultivation level really doesn't match up with Yanran's. If I show too much intimacy in front of others, it does make Yanran feel a bit awkward. Okay, I will become a young talent in this world, until one day, I will openly announce my relationship with you to everyone. And the master says, that's right, you're the man I've set my sights on. Lin Fan, rest assured, as long as you're willing to work hard, with yours talent and my assistance, it won't take thousands of years for us to relate in the immortal realm. And Lin Fan is thinking, while Yanran and I may have a significant gap in cultivation, as someone who has awakened the system, my starting point is incomparable to others. And he says, no, that's too long. Lin Fan, don't aim for the distant future. I seize the present. 10 years. That's sufficient. In 10 years, I'll ascend alongside you. In the immortal realm, I'll overcome all challenges for you. And hearing this, the master gets surprised, and Lin Fan goes closer to the master and says to him, with you within 10 years, I'll perish and vanish, with heaven and earth as my witnesses. Yanran, I hope you can give me a little more courage. And the master says, what? Courage? So Lin Fan says, stop talking and close your eyes. And the master says, all right. Then Lin Fan kisses the master. After this the scene shifts, Tianmen inner cabinet. And the elder is saying, above is the plan I and the grand elder have devised. If there are no objections from everyone, we will proceed with this plan immediately. This is also the wish of our ancestors. And another elder says, for the training mission, I have no objections in that regard. Participate, coin the ranking competition among the immortal sects. Our disciples of the Tianmen sect have a mixed reputation, being seen as both righteous and unorthodox. They have always been disliked by both the immortal and demonic factions. Will these sects take advantage of this opportunity to strike back? And the elder says, since we're selecting the future backbone of our Tianmen sect, sacrifices are inevitable. It's unavoidable. Second elder, you need not say more. And the second elder says, since the ancestor has given approval, I have no further objections. Then another elder says, sect leader, there's one more thing I need to inform you about. I've reached out to the 8 major immortal sects, and while 7 are willing to cooperate with our Tianmen sect's disciples for their training, the founder of Qingyun's sect, Jian Qingyun, has a history of conflict with our sect's founder and is unwilling to cooperate. In fact, but Jian Qingyun is also cunning. He understands that our Tianmen ancestor has reached the emperor realm, so he's careful not to outright refuse. Instead, he set up a ring at Qingyan sect, and challenged that if any of our Tianmen sect's disciples can defeat 3 of Qingyan sect's holy sons, he'll cooperate and grant our disciples access to a secret realm within Qingyan sect. And after listening to that elder's words, the first elder says, "Oh, interesting. Then let's see who is better, my Tianmen sect's disciple, or his Qingyan sect's disciple. Spread my command. Defeating the 3 grand holy sons of Qingyan sect is now a top-tier mission. If any disciple completes this task, then they shall receive an immortal origin pill and 1,000,000 spirit stones as reward. 3 days from now, within the jurisdiction of Qingyan City, under Qingyan sect's authority, a little girl looks towards the sky and says to her mother, 'Mother, look, another immortal is flying towards Qingyan Mountain.' And her mother says, 'It's strange, why are so many immortals visiting Qingyan Mountain lately? Which one is this?' And we see Lin Fan, who is flying somewhere, and while going he is thinking, 'I didn't expect that the 3 holy sons of Qingyan sect would possess such abilities. Prior to my arrival, 3 disciples from 3 generations of nascent soul stage attempted to challenge them, but all lost. Jian Qingyan, if you don't give face to Tianmen sect, you're not giving face to Yanran either. I, Lin Fan, will meet your Qingyan sect's holy sons today.' And then Lin Fan reaches a place, and there are some people there. And we look at Jian Qingyan, and he's like, 'Oh, I didn't expect people from Tianmen to still not give up. My disciples have already crippled 3 of their disciples, yet there are still ignorant descendants coming to their deaths?' And Lin Fan says, 'Lin Fan, the Emperor's son of Tianmen, is here today to meet them. I ask for the guidance of Qingyan sect's holy sons.' And Jian Qingyan is saying, so it's Lin Fan. Finally, a disciple with some weight. This Lin Fan is Zhao Yanran's personal disciple, just like you all, directly trained by me. As my own direct disciple, you must not allow me to lose face by being defeated by him, do you understand?' And a disciple says, 'We will never let down the honor of our master.' And the second disciple says, 'What Emperor's son? I've been itching to meet him for a long time.' And 3 disciples come forward to attack Lin Fan, seeing whom Lin Fan starts laughing, and he is thinking, 'These 3 pretty boys have faces whiter than mine, they look like they have average fighting skills.' And one of the disciples says, 'You're the so-called Emperor's son of Tianmen?' And the second disciple says, 'Among the top 10 disciples of the 8 major immortal sects, they merely call themselves holy sons. Yet you dare to arrogantly claim the title of Emperor's son. How presumptuous!' And a third disciple says, 'All right, who do you want to fight first?' Then Lin Fan says to all 3 of them, the 8th-ranked Kai Kun, the 9th-ranked Shin Nong, and the 10th-ranked Fan Qing. 'I have admired you for a long time, my junior brothers and sisters. I have been grateful to you for taking care of me. Sorry, my schedule is very tight-packed. So just come together.' 3 days ago, Master has given something to Lin Fan, seeing which Lin Fan is a little surprised, and he is saying, 'Limitless universe? Yanran, what is this?' So the Master tells Lin Fan, 'This is the cultivation method. Comprehended during my seclusion. After my breakthrough, I perfected it. The grade of this cultivation method has reached the immortal level. Shiner and the elders have already formulated the promotion plan for the disciples of Tianmen sect, and I will once again seclude myself to refine the pills to enhance the cultivation of the disciples as rewards. Your current cultivation already surpasses your peers in the 8 great immortal sects, but there's still a gap in your technique refinement. Take the opportunity to delve deeper. Given your current level, understanding the 3rd form shouldn't be a challenge. Once you grasp it, you'll be unparalleled among nascent realm cultivators. Now, show your worth and don't disappoint your master.' And Lin Fan is very happy after getting that thing, and he is thinking, an immortal level technique? Could that mean I can instantly max out my cultivation with a max level technique scroll? Before arriving here, I employed a max level technique scroll to elevate the limitless universe divine technique that Yanran passed me to its peak. After spending 3 days honing my skills, now, handling a few small fries like you guys is a piece of cake. Then we see those 3, who are getting very angry and saying to Lin Fan, 'Arrogant fool, dare to underestimate me, the disciple of Qingyan sect. The supreme martial art of Qingyan sect, the Kunshin embrace. And one of the men moves forward to attack Lin Fan, but Lin Fan is also ready. And Lin Fan has thrown a punch, due to which the man's hand gets broken, and he goes far and hits a wall, and gets injured. And he is saying, "What?" After 25 years of training to master the Kunshin embrace to its peak. And the man's other companion says, "Brother Kun, taken down by this kid's single move?" And the third man says, "What an utterly domineering technique." But then Lin Fan comes behind both of them and says to them, "Dare to be distracted in the midst of battle. Go to hell." And Lin Fan makes both of their heads collide with each other, due to which both of them also lose. And Lin Fan is saying, "Humph, a disciple of the immortal sect, yet so lacking." At the same time Lin Fan is thinking, the limitless universe technique Yanran passed to me is truly formidable. The third style alone renders one invincible against nascent realm cultivators. The power of this ninth move is a complete downgrade for opponents of the same level. And seeing his three disciples defeated, Jian Qingyun becomes very surprised and says, "What? My three top disciples, in the blink of an eye, damn it," and he's thinking in the end, am I going to lose even my disciples to that woman? To be able to defeat my three disciples simultaneously, this guy's strength is probably among the top 5 among the disciples of the 8 great immortal sections. I refuse to accept this. And then the system tells Lin Fan, Jian Qingyun's favorability 10 bonus points 10 current points 1269. And Lin Fan is thinking, huh? I defeated 3 of Qingyun's old man's disciples, so why has his favorability towards me increased? Could it be that the relationship between him and Yanran isn't simple? Oh well, I won't dwell on it too much. Then Lin Fan says to Jian Qingyun, "Mr. Qingyun, don't forget your promise." And saying this Lin Fan leaves this place. After this the scene shifts, Tianmen sect's Merit Hall. And Lin Fan is saying, is that the merit monument set up by Yanran? To listen to Yanran's teachings, one must exchange merit for the opportunity, and merit can only be obtained by completing tasks assigned by the sect or by improving one's ranking in the sect's competitions. This is the rule she set after emerging from seclusion, one I must also follow. Lin Fan, a disciple of the 3rd generation of Tianmen sect, has completed a heavenly task and will be rewarded with 1 immortal origin pill, 1,000,000 spirit stones, and 100,000 merits points. It's actually a top-grade spirit stone that's worth 100,000 lower-grade spirit stones each. Tianmen sect truly lives up to its reputation as one of the top sects comparable to the 8 major immortal sections. Their generosity knows no bounds. With this immortal origin pill, my cultivation will advance rapidly. I'm currently at the middle stage of nascent soul realm. After taking it, I should be able to break through to the peak of nascent soul realm directly. The distance between me and Yanran is still too far, but then the leader and elder come to that place, seeing whom Lin Fan says, "Sect leader." And the great elder? "Why are you here?" And the leader says, "Lin Fan, you did a good job. You secluded yourself for 3 days to comprehend the martial arts. Turns out you were biding your time, and once you emerged, you accomplished a great feat, making a name for yourself among the 8 immortal gates." Then Lin Fan says, "Does sect leader refer to my defeat of the 3 grand disciples of the Qingyun sect?" And the elder says, "Exactly. Now you are the sole disciple within the sect to accomplish a heavenly level task. You truly embody the spirit of the emperor's son of our Tianmen, displaying the demeanor of a great emperor." Then the leader says, "In that case, the outside world should also be aware that the disciples of our Tianmen are no less capable than those of the 8 immortal sections. I've been keeping you hidden from the world all these years, not letting you gain experience, fearing that your strength might be lacking, and you might not be able to stand on your own for the time being. It seems I worried too much." And Lin Fan is thinking, although Tianmen has Yanran in charge compared to the 8 great sects that have stood for thousands of years, our foundation is still shallow. While our elite combat power surpasses that of any immortal sect, there is still a slight gap in disciple cultivation. Now, by defeating the Qingyun sect's holy sons, I've helped them sect leader save face. It's indeed a good opportunity to win favor, but I can't afford to appear too arrogant. Then Lin Fan says to both of them, of course, having techniques passed down directly from our venerable ancestor, if I still can't match up to others, I might as well just knock myself out with a tofu block. Moreover, as the Emperor's son of Tianmen, it's only natural for me, Lin Fan, to uphold the reputation of our sect. The sect leader and the elders have been overly generous in their price. And hearing this, the leader becomes happy and she says, humble and courteous, not arrogant about achievements. And the elder says, the disciple surpasses the master. At the same time, both of them are thinking, this kid's future is immeasurable. And Lin Fan is thinking, the sect leader and the grand elder really buy into this, haha, I'm just too clever. And then the system tells Lin Fan, Li Kerson's current favorability, 30, Mei Fong's current favorability, 30, current points, 1329. And listening to the system, Lin Fan is thinking, another 60 points earned, just need 1500 more to redeem items from the system store. Then the leader says to Lin Fan, oh Lin Fan, almost forgot to tell you, you now have 100,000 merits, which means you can have an audience with the Ancestor once and have him lecture you for a day. As for how to use it, simply let a drop of your essence blood fall onto the merit monument, and the Ancestor will sense it. The next day. Danyang City is a city located 3,000 miles away from Tianmen sect. Both Lin Fan and Master are roaming around, and Lin Fan likes a hairpin from Master and says to Master, perfectly. How about giving it a try? And Master tries that hairpin, and when Lin Fan sees Master, Master looks very sexy to her. And she is saying to Master, Lin Fan, why do you keep giving people those odd looks? It makes them feel embarrassed. But Lin Fan does not say much, and starts taking the Master with him to another place and says, it looks intriguing. Over there, come on, let's go take a look. But Lin Fan has not given the money to the shopkeeper, and the shopkeeper is demanding his money from Lin Fan. But then Lin Fan throws a stone on the shopkeeper's head. And seeing that stone, the shopkeeper becomes happy and says, this, a spirit stone. Let's bring it to the nearby immortal sects for exchange. They'll give you 10 taels of gold for each piece. Thank you very much. And looking at Master Lin Fan, she is thinking, Fanner seems quite happy. Fanner exchanged the opportunity for me to preach for a day to allow me to accompany him for a day. Then I'll just spend the day with him. Then both of them are watching a show together. Then Lin Fan gives something to eat to Master, and we see that both of them also do the Big Eater Challenge. And after this it becomes night and Lin Fan is going somewhere with his master, and his master is saying to Lin Fan, Xiao Fan, it's getting late, we should head back to Tianmen. But Lin Fan says to the master, let's leave after watching this, it's not even midnight yet. And the master is saying, there's nothing here. So Lin Fan says to the master, wait a little longer, it's almost here. Close your eyes first. But she says to Master Lin Fan again, I won't fall for it this time. And Lin Fan says to the master, no, Yanran, you misunderstood me. Then the master closes her eyes and she is thinking, here it comes again, that thing. And Lin Fan starts counting down. Then Lin Fan asks Master to open her eyes, and when Master opens her eyes she sees a lot of fireworks happening in the sky, and Master is surprised to see this and Lin Fan is saying, how? About it, Yanran, the fireworks of the mortal world have a line charm, don't they? And the master says, I never imagined that the mortal world would have such a spectacle. Since I entered the immortal path at the age of 12, I haven't had contact with the mortal world for 3,000 years. Thank you, Fan, I've had a really enjoyable day. And Lin Fan is thinking, actually, I came up with the recipe for these fireworks and got a lot of people to help with the display. But let's not mention it now, it might dampen the mood. Then he says to the master, I just couldn't bear seeing you working day and night, making pills for the disciples' training rewards at Tianmen, so I came up with this idea to take you out and relax. And her master says, little fool, I'm not someone who can't stand lonely. Just refining a few pills won't exhaust me. I also want to leave some heritage for Tianmen before ascending. But I'm happy that you have this thought. And then the system tells Lin Fan, congratulations to the host for successfully unlocking Zhao Yanran maximum favorability limit. Current favorability of Zhao Yanran, 110, Reward for unlocking the maximum limit of favorability for the first time, 200 points, current points, 1539. And the system says to Lin Fan, "Oh? Didn't expect the host to be quite capable, actually unlocking the favorability maximum limit so quickly." But Lin Fan says to the system, "System, could you not be a third wheel at this moment?" And the system tells Lin Fan, Okay, I'll just go back. Anyway, no one else can see me." Then she says to Master Lin Fan, "Fanner, what are you mumbling to yourself there alone?" And Lin Fan laughs and says, "Fanner, what are you mumbling to yourself there alone?" So the master says, "Fool, you are still far behind. The cultivation requires steady progress and cannot be rushed. I see that you seem to have refined the immortal origin pill, and yours cultivation has reached the peak of the nascent soul realm. But actually, this is not a good thing. In the coming time, you need to diligently cultivate your techniques. At least, you must reach the 5th level realm in the limitless universe technique before you can continue to break through. Otherwise, your foundation will be shaky, and even if you break through the realm, your strength may not necessarily improve much." And after listening to the master's words, Lin Fan is thinking, the 5th level of the limitless universe technique. Well, actually, I've already reached the maximum level. I'll have to find a way to get Yanran to lend me some more techniques to practice. Then Lin Fan says to the master, "By the way, Yanran, there's something I want to ask you. What's your relationship with the founder of the Qingyun sect, Jian Qingyun? Why did he have a conflict with you?" And she says to Master Lin Fan, "Jian Qingyun. Well, to be honest, I owe him an apology. He once pursued me, but I rejected him. At that time, I was solely focused on my cultivation, and we had some exchanges in practice, which led to a misunderstanding on his part. I heard that my rejection caused him to lose his focus on the Tao. He became unstable and failed to break through. It's understandable that he might hold a grudge against me." And Lin Fan gets shocked after hearing this, and he is thinking, "Wow! I never thought that old Qingyun would still be my love rival. No wonder when I injured his 3 disciples, his favorability for me actually increased. It seems he still has feelings for Yanran. Perhaps he's intentionally causing trouble, just to get her attention. No way, I can't let that old man chase after me, Yanran. I have to tarnish his reputation." Then Lin Fan says to the master, "I never expected such a thing to happen. Jian Qingyun's narrow-mindedness is truly surprising. Yanran, your decision to reject him was incredibly wise." And the master says, "Indeed. I didn't anticipate him still being caught up in these matters, but you've certainly defended our Tianmen's honor and haven't lost to his disciples. But don't be complacent. Jian Qingyun's most outstanding direct disciple is actually Zhuge Ling. She once held the 2nd position among the top 10 disciples of the Surpasses, even that of the leader of the sect. Just a few days ago, Zhuge Ling and the young master of the 10,000 Demons sect became Tao companions and were expelled from their sect, which gives you an advantage. Although Zlijling was this attack to the sect, runs deep. You defeated 3 of her senior brothers, so she might come after you with all she's got. In the near future, there will be a grand competition between the immortal and demonic factions to compete for the opportunity to explore the Taiwan ruins. I've secured a spot for us to represent the immortal faction, but you may come across Zhuge Ling during that time." And hearing this, Lin Fan gets shocked and says, "What? I'm not adept at dealing with women. I can't bring myself to harm a woman. Yanran, you have to help me out here, give me some top-level martial arts techniques or something, so that I can protect myself." And the master says, "Don't worry, no matter what, you're still my disciple. I know you've always held back when sparring with female disciples. Being too gentle with girls is indeed your weakness. Qingyun sect previously promised that if a disciple of Tianmen defeated 3 holy sons of Qingyun sect, they would earn a chance to enter the Qingyun secret realm once. Logically, this opportunity should be yours. However, the benefits of the Qingyun legacy for those at the peak of the nascent soul realm are limited. So, I decided to give this opportunity to Jipping, your 3rd-generation disciple whose cultivation is just slightly below yours, as compensation. I'll still provide you with a martial art technique." And Lin Fan sticks to the master and says, "Yanran cares for me the most. Wait a moment. Yanran, didn't you just say, has Xiao Jiping come back? The next day, cloud conceal peak. Lin Fan is sleeping. Then he wakes up and says, last night, I stayed up too late accompanying Yanran, and I'm so tired. But it was all worthwhile. Not only did it deepen Yanran's favorability for me, but I also gained a new martial arts technique from her. And the system is saying to Lin Fan, immortal level martial art, divine elemental technique. Would you like to use a martial art max level scroll to enhance it? Remaining quantity, 2. And Lin Fan is thinking, according to Yanran, the divine elemental technique was created by another senior ancestor of our Tianmen sect who has already ascended. It's a secret method that can rapidly boost one's strength in the short term. Before reaching the 5th level, it has a significant side used with caution however. For me, it's no big deal at all, haha, cheating feels great. Divine elemental technique, obtained. Woohoo! Liftoff. Knock off Pava, this is what it feels to be invincible. But then someone breaks Lin Fan's door taking his name, and seeing this Lin Fan is surprised and says, Nanny! Who dares to kick the door of mine, the Emperor's son, are you tired of living? And then Lin Fan gets a kick in the face. And Lin Fan is thinking, wait, this strength is so familiar. Could it be? It's her. And Lin Fan goes back and hits a wall, and in front of him is a girl, and that girl is saying to Lin Fan, what's wrong, Lin Fan? It's been years, yours reaction speed has really become slow. And Lin Fan is thinking, fuck, it really is her, Ji Ping. Then Lin Fan says to Ji Ping, you haven't changed a bit, still greeting with such enthusiasm right off the bat. You've indeed made some progress, but you still have a long way to go. Take this. And Lin Fan throws something towards Ji Ping, but Ji Ping hits that thing with her punch, but then Lin Fan comes behind her, and Ji Ping gets surprised to see this. Then Lin Fan punches Ji Ping, and makes her fall on the ground. And Ji Ping is saying to Lin Fan, you truly are a ruthless man, Lin Fan. I'm also a woman, why do you hit me so hard? And Lin Fan says to Ji Ping, you've got some nerve saying you're a woman. We've known each other since childhood, I know every single hair on yours body, a woman? You even dare to call yourself a woman? Don't pretend to understand anything about it, stay out of it. And Ji Ping says to Lin Fan, I thought after 5 years of experience outside, I could give you a hard time, but I didn't expect I still couldn't beat you. It seems that you have made considerable progress, Lin Fan. After this both of them start going outside and Lin Fan is saying to Ji Ping, you've been away for 5 years and you seem to have grown much stronger. And Ji Ping says to Lin Fan, that's true, while I might not be as advanced as you, I recently made it into the mid-stage of nascent soul realm. The experiences I've had outside these past few years have really broadened my horizons. And Lin Fan says, tell me about it. So Ji Ping says, let me think, where should I start? 5 years ago, I spent 3 days and 3 nights rushing thousands of miles along rivers, and captured an extremely precious golden sturgeon. Damn, you dare to little fish! Run, why aren't you running? And hearing this, Lin Fan gets shocked and says, wow, you're quiet. Daring. 3 years ago, in the Wanyao Mountains, I drugged a powerful ground dragon and stole a ground dragon egg from its nest. And hearing this, Lin Fan starts vomiting and says, hey, did you say drugged? So, the unidentified liquid on the egg, could it be? And Ji Ping further says, 1 year ago, I happened to meet a cultivator who was breaking through to the great power realm. While he was unconscious from exhaustion after the breakthrough, I plundered all the treasures from his body, even his Taoist robe. Because of this incident, the fellow chased after me for a long time. And Lin Fan says, damn, you're just a downright female rogue. Then Ji Ping says, and then, I secretly infiltrated the Yuxian sect and used explosive talismans to blow up the restroom in the Yuxian sect's cafeteria. And Lin Fan silences Ji Ping and says, that's enough. Don't say anything. And Ji Ping says, not saying anything then, you've listened to me for yours, share your own. After I came back, I heard many rumors from junior martial brothers and sisters, saying that you were flirting around in the Tianmen sect. Is it true? And Lin Fan says, no, it's all slander, all rumors. They defame me, purely defame me. Then Jiping says, alright, just kidding with you, I'm not interested in knowing about these things. But I must remind you, romantic relationships between men and women are prohibited within the Tianmen sect. It's rumored that this rule was set by our recently emerged ancestors. If you continue to mess around like this, be careful she doesn't strike you down with one palm. And Lin Fan is thinking, should I tell her that I've successfully conquered that ancestors? And Jiping says to Lin Fan, just joking with you, no need to be so tense. Do you really have a significant other? But don't worry, if that ancestors really wants to strike you down, I'll definitely protect you. After all, we are the closest of friends. And Jiping starts leaving and Lin Fan is thinking, Jiping, you really haven't changed a bit. And while leaving, Jiping says to Lin Fan, alright Lin Fan, although I'm happy to see you, I have to go participate in the secret realm trial arranged by the Ancestor. I know this opportunity was originally meant for you. Thank you for giving it to me. I might be gone for a while on this journey. Let's meet again at the upcoming Immortal and Demon Grand Competition. Lin Fan, it's been years since we last met. You've become handsome. How did I not notice before? You were always a handsome guy. And Lin Fan tries to stop Jiping, but Jiping runs away. Then Lin Fan is saying, this little girl is always so lively and passionate. And then the system says to Lin Fan, congratulations to the host for gaining favorability. Converted into points plus 50, Jiping, current favorability, 50, current points, 1589. And Lin Fan is saying, oh? Unexpectedly, there's still a pleasant surprise? Favorability of 50. I didn't expect Jiping, that little girl, to have such a high favorability towards me. I thought since she always enjoys battling with me, her favorability shouldn't be too high. Oh right, point small. I'm about to compete with the elite disciples of both the immortal and demonic faction. I'll need to see if there are any treasures in the system mall that can enhance my strength. I am determined to come out on top in this Immortal Demon Grand Competition, surpassing others with my skills. By doing so, I can move one step closer to Yanran. System, come out. Then the system comes out and she says to Lin Fan, amidst a thunderous clamor, the system makes a dazzling entrance onto the scene. And Lin Fan says to the system, enough with the cute act. Let's swiftly open the system mall and see what treasures are inside. And the system says, can you be a little more gentle with the ladies, host? The mall is loading, the system mall is open. And Lin Fan, being happy, gives a kick to the system and says to it, alright, you're of no more use. Just go cool off somewhere. And the system is telling Lin Fan, damn it, you heartless bastard. But Lin Fan is saying, let me see what treasures there are. Hey he. Then the system says to Lin Fan, congratulations to the host for earning more than 1,500 points. The first system action offers a limited time discount reward. Choose one from 3. 1-day luck enhancement card 1500 points. 1-day cultivation copy card 1500 points. Permanent qualification enhancement card 1500 points. And seeing this, Lin Fan is thinking, the 1-day luck enhancement card seems to be luck related, maybe useful in alchemy, crafting, or exploring to boost luck. As for the permanent qualification enhancement card, it sounds like it enhances qualifications. But as for me, I'm already a prodigy with innate talent, so it seems rather pointless. The 1-day cultivation copy card. What is it exactly? System, care to explain? Then the system tells Lin Fan, the 1-day cultivation copy card allows the host to copy the cultivation of an individual with a favorability over 100, once, and Lin Fan is thinking, I see. Currently, the only individual with a favorability over 100 one's Yanran. This could be a lifesaver. With Yanran's formidable strength, purchasing the copy card seems like the most worthwhile option. It might come in handy at a critical moment. Survival comes first in the martial world. Don't worry about trivial matters. With this copy card, I'll feel more secure when showing off in the future. Good, I'll buy it. 3 days left before the grand competition. The leader is speaking. The Tianmen sect's third-generation disciples have undergone multiple selections. Among you 4, including advanced their cultivation to the peak of the nascent soul realm. Immortal Demon Friend competition begins. Our ancestors have secured 5 spots for us to compete. This event isn't just about the next 30 years' division of territory between the immortals and demons, it's also a prime opportunity to magnify Tianmen sect's reputation. What you have to face are all the top 50 people on the list of immortals and demons. Their strength is extraordinary. While Tianmen sect is undoubtedly powerful, our prominence has waned due to our ancestors' seclusion. This competition is not just about fighting for the immortal faction, but also about upholding the honor of Tianmen sect. Therefore, success is not an option, you must win. Do you all understand? And everyone says to the leader, yes, we got it. Then Lin Fan says, I, as a disciple, will surely uphold the honor of Tianmen sect. Let both sides witness the true power of Tianmen sect. And the leader says to Lin Fan, very good, please be careful on your journey. And everyone leaves for their journey, and while leaving Lin Fan is thinking, wait for me, Yanran. When I return victorious, I'll be one step closer to you. Sooner or later I, Lin Fan, will openly and honorably marry you. And the master is looking at all these things and she is saying, Fanner, good luck care on your journey. After this the scene shifts, the main hall of the Crimson Demon sect. Then we see a man who is the leader of this place, and an elder says to him, Sect Master, you summoned us, saying there was an urgent matter to discuss. What is it? Then another elder tells him, I've even paused my work on refining the Crimson Serpent 10,000 Souls banner. Sect Master, what is this urgent matter? Then the leader says, please be patient, fellow elder. I understand that you all have important matters to attend to. If it were a minor issue, I wouldn't have disturbed you. I believe you are all aware that in recent years, our Crimson Demon sect has become a major force in the demon faction, while the Immortal faction has seen similar developments. This year there is an extra, Tianmen. Previously, there were 8 sects in the Immortal faction and 6 sects in the Demon faction. Now, it has become 9 sects in the Immortal faction and 7 sects in the Demon faction. This upcoming grand competition is bound to be full of variables. Then another elder says, Sect Master, what do you mean? So the leader says, although our Crimson Demon sect is recognized as one of the major forces in the Demon faction, we have always been questioned by other sects about our foundation. In the previous Immortal Demon Grand Competition, our Demon faction suffered a crushing defeat against the Immortal faction. If our Crimson Demon sect can overturn the situation in this upcoming competition, defeating the Immortal faction in one fell swoop, we can achieve instant renown. This victory will firmly establish our foothold among the major forces of the Demon faction. And hearing this the elder says, Sect Master, rest assured. Our sect's young master is already ranked 5th on the Earth Demon ranking, destined to showcase his skills in the Immortal Demon Grand Competition. But the leader says, Fool! Our sect demands nothing less than absolute certainty. Don't forget, we are cultivators of the Demon faction. All those ethics and laws only serve to shackle the fools in the Immortal faction, they hold no power over us. And the second elder says, Sect Master, are you implying that we should arrange for our operatives to ambush the Immortal faction prodigies during the competition? And the leader says, Elder Chixing truly lives up to being the right-hand man of our sect, really understands my intentions deeply.